So why are the mega wealthy buying tons of land and building underground bunkers? Do they know something that you and I don't? Should you and I be worried? And of course, should we be prepping alongside them for the inevitable end of the world? Let's get some answers. People have been prepping for the end of the world for years, but this time it's not just regular humans who can get written off easily because they're not part of the well-informed, wealthy elite and not globally influential. Preppers back in the day got labeled as paranoid, on the fringe of society, and maybe even just plain crazy. But of course, that all goes out the window when something actually happens. Today, the wealthiest people in the world are in on it too. Look, we all know who had the last laugh in 2020. Some people got caught without toilet paper, and some people were kings and queens sitting on the porcelain throne. So here we are, the articles are coming out. Zuckerberg building a top secret, so basically that means everybody knows about it, compound with underground bunker. Frank Vandersloot, Idaho's richest man, bought land south of that location. I'm assuming that land is not for potatoes. And Sam Altman, you might have heard of him with all the AI news going around, has made arrangements with Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, and the two of them will hide away in New Zealand. So the CEO of OpenAI, a company that's goal is to develop highly autonomous systems that outperform humans at most economically valuable work, has made arrangements. Tell me your robots might take over the world without actually telling me your robots might take over the world. Okay, so what exactly are these guys buying and building? They're buying a location and building infrastructure to survive some type of event that destabilizes society. They are effectively buying insurance for the very real possibility of a doomsday scenario, whatever that may be. It doesn't take a lot of imagination to come up with a few ideas, since we all know about climate change, AI, widespread disease. Then there's cyber attacks, full-scale revolutions, wars, maybe even zombies and alien invasions. You name it, these things are possible, although some are more likely than others. So what does a billionaire looking to ride out a crisis get for millions of dollars? Well, in Mark Zuckerberg's case, we really don't know, given that everyone working on the project signs a non-disclosure agreement, which sort of adds to the fear element of this, but I think it's hilarious since a ton of people on this Hawaiian island are working on it, but they're not allowed to talk about it. So everyone is just eating lunch silently while never speaking of the mega construction project they all go to every day. Like they just talk about the weather and that's it. Even Family Guy had a bit way back when making fun of Batman building his secret lair, but I do understand why someone would want to take measures to keep things as private as possible, especially a billionaire. So my research led me to find some luxury doomsday bunkers that were a little more open with their information, probably because they were trying to get someone to buy them. Gotta love capitalism. All right, get this. The Oppidum in the Czech Republic, 323,000 square feet, 6 apartments, ground level golf course, underground 5-star class bunker with restrooms with whirlpool bath, double sinks, which are super important for anybody married and trying to stay married in a crisis. Raj V with the relationship advice. Rainfall showers, a bunch of other stuff, but of course, hospital and dental surgery facility. More on that part later. Another one that was interesting, a survival condo in Kansas, basically a skyscraper underground built from a missile silo from the Cold War. Honestly, oddly appropriate. Either way, it's 15 floors and can protect against a nuclear bomb 100 times more powerful than the one that hit Nagasaki. A third one, the Global Seed Vault in Norway, and by the way, this was a multinational effort. This is for the protection against extinction of plant species in the event of a global catastrophe. It can house 4, and because it's 100 meters into the mountain, it uses natural cooling to keep the seeds at proper temperatures. So it's not even just the normal people of the world looking into this doomsday situation. The rich and powerful are in on it, entrepreneurs are building products to meet the demand, and our governments are working together to preserve plant species. But of course, billionaires aren't going to be walking around out in the open during the end of the world. They're going to need some wheels. So they're probably stopping by their local Conquest vehicle dealership to pick up the Knight XV. 13,000 pounds, so this thing is heavy enough and may qualify as a tax write-off for your LLC. 5-speed automatic, diesel or gas engine options, 63-gallon tank with upgrade available, steel front bumper, armored grille, armored windows, ballistic run-flat tires. Look, it's a secure vehicle and it can be purchased for about 800 grand. So I personally am a normal guy. I make normal money. I don't want to assume what's in your wallet, but statistically, most people are not oozing with extra cash. But we might have a little to spend on our own personal protection. protection, our own personal insurance policy for some end-of-day scenario. So if walled-off compounds in remote locations and vehicles just short of tanks aren't an option, what is? Well, obviously there's your basics. You got canned food, water, normal, reliable off-road vehicles for transportation, and some sort of shelter that can be packed up and moved when needed. This is also known as a tent. It's survival, not glamping. There's also first aid kits, proper survival training courses, weapons and ammunition, and don't forget the gas for the cars. This is stuff you can get today, right now after work, or this upcoming weekend, just in case things go wrong. But if you want to go a little further, there's more specialized equipment like respirators, armor plates and vests, water purification kits, things that not every store near you might have but can still be acquired. Let's say we wanted to go even further, maybe not invest millions of dollars, but make sizable investments into survival. There are companies out there that make bunkers like Atlas Survival Shelters, made in the United States, made in the EU, and soon Australia. For $20,000, you can get your own precast concrete bunker, and of course, they offer a few different layouts for underground shelters as well. Look, there's plenty of companies making plenty of bunkers, and of course, I'm sure they'll be happy to tailor it to your needs, so this level of protection can go from thousands of dollars to millions of dollars very quickly. But if you want your own tiny bunker at the base level for the price of a car, you can get into the bunker game. Now, I know some of you out there might be thinking this is ridiculous. 20 grand for a shell of concrete? Get real. Well, some of you have never experienced hurricane force wind or tornadoes like I have. It reminds me of the saying, prior preparation prevents poor performance. In this case, performance means surviving. But of course, this is just the surface of the issue. What happens when the billionaires get whisked away by their private security detail they had on speed dial? Oh, and the full medical team too that can properly utilize the hospital and dental surgery facility. They all go in and seal the doors. How do these people maintain order when society collapses around them and they're isolated from the world? I don't want to let my imagination run wild, but if a billionaire invites me to be part of their end of the world society and live in a bunker, my answer is probably going to be no. I've seen enough Walking Dead and played enough Fallout to know that this is generally a situation I don't want to be in. And sustainability, of course, is a huge concern, because even in a situation where a full facility is built to be self-sustainable, eventually things break and resources get used. You will have to venture out into the wasteland for supplies, and the remains of society might not be super thrilled to see a bunker dweller. Good thing you have a tank. Wait, the Knight XV. Sorry. So personally, I am Team Earth and Team Human. We all may have our differences and disagreements, but everyone wins when society is stable. Now, of course, this isn't the situation for everybody, but I would argue that most people watching this video live better than kings and queens of the past. We live in a time where we have antibiotics, anti-venom, protective equipment for hazardous situations, and air conditioning. I'm just saying we are all incentivized to keep the peace, so if doomsday prepping isn't your thing, you can work on maintaining society instead. So let's answer the 4 questions we posed in the beginning of this video directly. Of course, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section. Number 1, why are billionaires building these bunkers? Billionaires are just like us, humans who have the desire to live, to thrive, and they want to prepare for the future. They also seem to want to be really far away from everyone else. So they have the money, this is what they spend it on. Number 2, do they know something that you and I don't? I think these people are very smart, but they cannot see the future, only the possibilities of what could happen, which is anybody's guess. Therefore, when it comes to a large-scale destructive event, maybe they get access ahead of time to what's going on, but in reality, if the event is large enough, it wouldn't even matter. Number 3, should you and I be worried? Eventually, something will happen, and that can lead us to worry about all the terrible things that could happen. Well, worrying is just downright unproductive, so no, we shouldn't worry, but that leads us to number 4, should we be prepping? Yes, to the best of our ability. We should be prepared for emergency events. However, we do need to prioritize more likely doomsday scenarios first, rather than less likely things. And if aliens invade, I'm probably going to get taken out in the first wave of the invasion, so there's not much I could do in that scenario anyway. So I'd rather be as prepared as I can within my budget for fires, floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, civil unrest, and one day when I have a few $1,000,000 lying around, maybe I'll splurge and go full luxury bunker, but until then, I'll see you in the next video.